Onegaishimasu. Okay, well, let's start with a few moments of Zazen. So turning the attention inward, noticing the posture, allowing the body to release and open. Feel the weight sink to the floor. In other words, weight underside. And allow that pressure of the floor to move up and through the body, informing the body's posture and shape. So weight underside and allowing the ground force to move up and through the body. Visualizing and feeling the bones, allowing the skeletal structure to become tall and spacious, tall and open. And then the muscles just relax down off of the bones. So the muscles hanging off the bones, that's basically weight underside. And with the skeletal structure, we just make sure there's no ensuing collapsation. Even as we rest weight underside, even as we allow the muscles to release and hang, there's no drooping because of the skeletal structure. It stays right and vertical and open. And actively using the out breath to release tension on each exhale. Letting the weight enter further and further into the ground, and that more and more releases the body to be more open and more spacious. And then resting the head in the lap and do some warm-ups here. Feel free to sit cross-legged if you need to. And still aware of the spine, we'll roll the shoulders and notice the benefits that provides our spine. Breathing freely in the belly the whole time. Other way. And then we'll roll the shoulders together. So back, up, forward and down. And we get a nice rocking motion with the entire upper body. So we're rotating at the hips and then warming up the hips and lower back as we do this. Getting a big movement with the shoulders. And rolling the other way, up to the ears, back, down, forward. Good, and chin down to the chest and rolling the head along the front. Just with gravity, just with the weight of the head. Breathing the entire time. And back to the center of the chin, slowly up, and then we'll point the chin up to the ceiling. And then again, a full allowing of the weight fall in front. And up and center, a little turn. Center and then ear dropping towards the shoulder, straight down the side. And back to center. And then we'll rotate from the hips, our torso. It's like we're drawing a circle in a ceiling with the top of our head, by using the entire torso to do that. Feel the movement in the hips and lower back. And other way. And back to vertical. And then we'll do some spine waves, spine rolls. So let the hips rotate forward and the spine is kind of dragged forward. So one vertebrae at a time. Turn sideways here, you get a better view of it. So I rotate the hips forward. And the last to come is the head. I rotate the hips forward. And eventually one vertebrae at a time is drawn forward. And see if you can tune in and sense and feel each vertebrae rolling with this motion. Okay, now we'll do basically the reverse version where we're going to roll the hips back. The lower back goes back, followed by one vertebrae at a time. And then again, lastly is the head. So I'll roll back. Good. Now we can go side to side as well. So I roll to the side. And finally through the neck and through the top of the head. Release the abdomen. Good. And a little bigger motion using the arms for support. Making a circle one way and then the other way. Feeling what you're doing for the hips and lower back. And equal awareness and equal stretch. Might need to make a little bigger base. And Minucci to the front corners. Arms staying long and open. Energizing hand blades. Releasing those shoulder joints. Good. And sitting, we'll just do a few rollbacks, just basic rollbacks along the spine, nice and round. We'll keep the legs the same. Coming forward with a strong mental intention forward to bring us forward. You can use the hand blades if you like. Okay, so each. Hips rotate forward as your intention leads you forward. Knee. San. Shi. Ho. And then we'll just switch to the other side, covering center line with your hands and feet each. Knee. San. Shi. Ho. And we'll just now switch, we'll rotate. Before we come forward, we rotate, change hands and feet to bring us forward. So each. Knee. San. Try to get a nice stretch in the hips here as you come forward. Shi. Ho. Roke. Siege. Hotch. Good. Coming up. Again, use the ground. Pop you up, send you up right through that vertical axis. Knees over the feet, so light horse stance. Shift the weight and turn the hips. Watch out for any leaning. You want to keep the flat foot, so not popping up. To start with, it's nice, settled, stable in the ground. shift the weight, turn the hips, let those arms be released and loose. Nothing in the shoulder joints. And then we can add a turn, a little further turn, so we come up on the ball of that back foot to allow us a bigger turn, including in the neck. Make sure the leg that you're on, that knee is well bent. Back to flat foot, and then the reverse hip turn. So you shift the weight to one leg and turn the hips to the empty leg. Try to hang the hips. In other words, try to keep this straight, tailbone pointing towards the ground. If it's up and tight, it can aggravate lower back problems and encourage that area to be tight. So we want to lengthen the lower back. Eventually, the lower vertebrae and the muscles in the lower back release and open. So the work is in the legs, not in the lower back. So this is virtually straight. Okay. And knees come up as we swing sideways. Opening the chest, opening the upper back, working the hips and knees. Okay, and then we make a crescent shape with the knees. We come in front, up to the side. In front, up, out to the side. In front, up, out. So we're making an arc with the knee, rotating the hip joints. Okay. So something new in this program, 7th Q program, is my Atoshi, front drop, front break fall, but now we simply do it from standing. So just kind of a level up. Now we're not going to do it completely from standing. That would be something we would want to work on, but this is just a small step up. So in the previous program, of course, we're doing my Atoshi from here. So I look like exactly the same. We're simply going to start from tachiwaza. Tachiwaza means from standing. So later on, not now, not at this level, we're actually going to fall from here like a tree, timber, and land with this. But we want to develop the skill of this fall before we do it from this height. So all we do is simply go to the knees and then do the front break fall. So then it's exactly the same as the previous program. You're not going to be falling from any greater height, not going to be falling with any greater force, because you're going to drop to the knees first. So that'll look like this. Again, at first, you might want to turn your head nice and early. But as we talked about before, the training ultimately is you want to turn the head as you fall, because chances are if you slip or fall or pushed, you won't have time to turn your head before, because you don't know what's happening until it's happening. So you want to train your mind and body, train your nervous system, that you immediately go into this shape. When you go to this shape, you also do this. So that happens together. That happens together. So to start with, you can get the shape nice and early, but eventually you want that all to happen in the spark of a moment. So very, very basic. I might set that up all beforehand. And notice I'm touching down with my palms first, so I don't smash my elbows. So definitely you don't want to land on the elbow points first. Lightly with the palms first. Just like Minucci, where this is out in front. The hands are out in front of the elbows. They're not here. It's here. You end up flat once you're on the floor, but you're out here making contact with the palms first. Once I get more comfortable, I have all that happen, that shape is put on as I'm falling. The hand shape, the head angle. So it looks like this as I fall. Do one more. Yeah, so I'll just take a look if you do just a few of those. Okay. So, and then our Yoko Otoshi, our side break fall, the same methodology. We simply start from standing, go to kneeling, and then do a simple moderate break fall from that lower level. So I start from a Hami no Kamae, ready stance. I go down on that back knee. Now it's the same as, what we've done before, break fall from kneeling. And again, feel free to go from here all the way down to sitting on the lower leg, especially if you have a hard floor, hard surface. Eventually, just like I'm talking about the standing, eventually we'll actually do it from here, potentially. When you're ready, it's good to develop the ability to do it from here. Because when you actually do fall, you're going to be doing it from up here, right? You're probably not going to be falling from kneeling in a real situation. You'll fall from standing. So it's good to be able to do it from this little higher height, but not necessarily right now. So I start standing, tachiwaza. I go to kneeling and then even sitting. Then I want to set up, and you take all the time you need, including when you're demoing this technique. Take all the time you need to get set up. So the side I'm falling on, which is the low side, not the high side. That side, that arm is across the body, palm facing away, just so it's ready for a good slap to the ground. Again, I don't want to be leading with the elbow because then I'll crack the elbow. It's the whole underside of the arm. If anything were to land first, it would be the palm. So everything at the same time, or the palm slightly first. Of course, I want my chin tightly tucked. I want my head on my chest to avoid it bobbing over and hitting the side of the head. And as you know, the other hand, we simply put it towards the belt level. That's just to keep it tucked away, safely away, so it's not going to hit me in the eye. So when I'm ready, I simply slide my butt off, fall to the side, and then just allow the legs come to the standard end position with the knee up, pointing straight to the ceiling. One point I want to make is people tend to fall towards the back. So there's somewhere in between a back break fall and a side break fall. There's somewhere in between. So we don't want that. So just in case that wasn't clear, I want to finish completely on my side, not here at an angle. So people tend to be, well, here's back break fall. So people tend to be kind of halfway in between back break fall and side break fall. We want to be distinct and clear that this is side break fall. Another way of putting that is, I want to fall directly to the flank or 90 degrees. If you happen to have some mats or something on the floor where there's a line, that line is going straight out from your side, and then your torso should be right on that line. So let me just illustrate that one more time, and then you can just try a few on your own. So Hami no Kamae, forward stance. You take all the time to work these different segments. I kneel down, sit down. Now if that's hard on your ankle, you can flatten the foot, just like Seiza. Hand out of the way, hand prepared, body shape with the head. I slide my butt off. Try not to fall back at all. Straight, directly, 90 degrees. And a good finish. Okay? Try a few of those. Good. Feel free to do a few on the other side. Yeah, make sure you get the head right on the chest. Tuck that chin really strong. Okay. So that's good for now. You can have all the fun you want doing that on your own. So we'll do Minuchi Ikkyu Indo, Hapo Undo. So 8 directions. So let's review that, and then we'll do something new on this program. So maybe I'll illustrate once or twice. So I do the regular standard 4 directions, Shiho window, and then step to the back corner, front corner, back corner, and then I start again here. So yeah, if you want to join me, we'll do this fairly slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We step with the right foot into that back corner. Tenkai to the left, pivot to the left front corner, step with the right foot to the right front corner, pivot to the left, Tenkai to the left, to that back corner. And then we turn to the front wall and step with the right foot to the front wall. Start the next set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's just pause for a moment. So I think you're getting a sense of the stepping and the angles. So we just need to work on having a nice low center of gravity. In other words, the knees nicely bent, and keeping the back nice and straight, not leaning. What tends to happen when we start getting into more movement is we tend to come up and get light and foreshorten things. So with the 4 directions, we're probably doing pretty well. I know you were doing pretty good because you actually tested on those and demonstrating those, looking great. But it's a normal tendency, and I noticed it in myself even. Once we go into more movement or longer extended movement, those things, normal tendencies tend to creep in. Especially when I'm still thinking about where's my next turn, where do I go next? We'll tend to come in and up and shorten the movement here, lose the extension. So once you start to get a sense of the pattern and your body knows the pattern, relax and open and lengthen and sink. So let's do a few together. Keep it actually, let's go fairly slow pace so we can keep all those things in mind and correct things that we need to correct. So each knee, nice bent knees, san, shi, back corner with the right foot, go, rook, sich, touch, nice and low, knees bent, stepping with the right foot to the front wall again, each, ni, san, shi, back corner, pivot to the left, front corner, step to the right, front corner, pivot to the left, back corner, and the front wall again to start again. Each, ni, san, shi, o, rope, sich, touch. Have a clear weight shift forward each time. Each clear weight shift forward. Ni, san, without leaning forward. Shi, o, rope, sich, touch. If you want to continue, do a couple rotations on your own. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so just going to mention a couple of things. Overall, it's looking quite good. In particular, both of you have really nice extension, keeping it way out there. And you have nice extension without locking your elbow. So that's exactly right. You're nice and out there, nice and big. And your footwork and weight shift is distinct. That's good. So I'll mention one thing for each of you. So Mladen, there's a little bit of a lean here, something like that. So I want to bring the hips forward. So I'm virtually straight up and down. There is a weight shift forward, but it's like my upper body is just a passive passenger. So coming forward is just, it's like from the hips down. From the hips down. I'm exaggerating a little bit. We don't want this, but if you think and feel this, it might actually get you to straight. Obviously, I'm leaning back, but it'll feel like you're leaning back when you're straight because we're so used to doing this. So if you think of your upper body doesn't move, it's just your hips and your lower body go forward. Hips and lower body go forward. And that might go a good ways to actually just keeping everything nice and straight. So yeah, when you do just stationary Minucci, you might just want to work on that. Again, when we start stepping and moving, we lose some of those things. I might be doing really good with just forward and back Minucci, or even the basic Minucci where we do one tenkai, I might be doing pretty good. As soon as we add more stepping, more movement, those other things tend to creep in. So just the hips go forward, just the hips and legs, not the upper body, to create the upper body and the entire body being actually nice and vertical and straight. And then Bonnie, you're nice and straight. Everything's good. Just a minor addition is if you rotate the fingertips up, rotate at the base of the thumb, just to get the sword tips up. That's just a refinement. So you're like this, which is nice and big and out there. And if we rotate up at the base of the thumb or rotate the tips of the swords up, just makes a little more vital shape. And a slight more exaggerated, a little bit, slight exaggeration, a little bit more of an A shape or a triangle. So I want something like that. Yes, yes. Good. And Bonnie, a little bit more of the blade rather than the palm. So slightly more, just a little bit more of an angle. So that would be too much because that's blade right towards you. It's just angled slightly. Yes.
All right.
Yes, that looks good. Right. So you want to make contact. If you're to make contact on someone or something, it's with the blades or the edges. So something like that. So that would be too palmy. That's too palmy, and that's too much of an edge. So basically that.
Like that?
Yes. There, that was a better one. Yes, where the tips are a little bit more towards each other. Yeah. Okay, so maybe just do a couple rotations on your own, the 8 directions, and just being mindful of those things. Nice, very nice. Very nice. Good, good. Yeah, clean some things up really nicely there. Okay, so the next movement is new for you, but in a way it's not, because it's taking some couple of basic movements and putting them together. So let's just very briefly review Shomanuchi, because this is going to be using Shomanuchi, but with some footwork. So let's just maybe just for half a minute, just go through a few shomanuchi. Same things that we were talking right now about manuchi. I don't want to be leaning. I want the tip pointed up. So if I do a couple from the side here, I do a little turn of the hip, that drives the elbow forward to raise the sword. Step as my weight lands into that front leg, that's the sword cut. Comes down nice and big, big arc. Comes down to about Chudon level, about solar plex level. And straight up center line, the line bisecting the head at the top, coming right down center line. Yeah, go ahead and do a few. I'll take a look at that. Yes. Now, Maladin, start with your backhand here. So you're starting down here. So start in a Hanmi no Kamai position. So specifically the backhand starts here in a ready position at the sternum level, and then it'll finish to that level, but now it's ahead of the other hand. So when I step back, that hand draws right back at the same level that I finished at. So here, come back. My fingertips have rotated up when I come back, but the level where it starts and finishes is the same. Starts at this level, finishes at that level. And so at the end, Bonnie, have your hips move forward a little bit. Have your hips stay forward.
Better?
Can you turn sideways, Bonnie? Yeah, why don't you both turn sideways for me? Might as well take a look from this angle. Yeah, Bonnie, that's totally good. So you're not leaning there. So I can see that now that you're not leaning. Maladin, that's really good. You cleaned up that posture. You're staying nice and vertical. Yes. So if there's one side that you haven't done as much, feel free to go to the other side that you haven't done as much, as just to even it out before we learn this new movement. Okay, now I'm just going to mention something. It's something to work on your own, and I'll try to remember to bring it up another class as well, because once we have more experience, it's very, very important. At the beginning, everything is not equally important, but this becomes more and more something we want to be aware of. I'm talking about the backhand again. That this hand is going to become the backhand after I strike, right? This forward hand becomes the backhand. Forward hand, that becomes the backhand at the end. It's a little bit asleep at the end for both of you. That's totally normal. Everybody does that because I'm hitting with this hand, right? I'm hitting with this hand. This is the hand I'm hitting with. That's the active hand. So this side of my body is a little bit asleep. It's not as alive. It's not as vital. So what's very interesting, this is part of the mind development. It's part of energy development. And it's very healthy. It's actually stimulates the brain to equalize both sides and to map in your brain both sides equally. So this backhand is going to become the active hand, the striking hand, right? But this hand is just as equal, just as alive, just as vital. It's as if I'm striking with this backhand as much as the other hand. I'll show you from this angle. This forward hand, or this, right now it's the backhand, hand I'm striking with. I'm always striking with every part of my body equally. I'm never one-sided. Here's one-sided. See, this hand's just dead. Everything's equally alive, as if I'm striking with both sides equally. So watch this hand here, because it becomes the backhand. It's just as awake and alive as this hand. So this is available for defense or offense. Watch it go to sleep. Watch this one. It's not as active, right? So everything's equal. Everything's equal. So try a few more and be aware of that other hand. Yeah, Bonnie, that's it. Feel that?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah, your left hand when it's back is staying alive now. So yeah, Mladen, keep both hands out. So that's a basic thing to work on. So we'll work on the new move next time because we're about to run out of time. But that's a basic principle and feeling in everything we do. Everything is equally alive. Everything is, no matter what shape you're doing, what technique you're doing, one hand might seem more dominant, it's always equally alive. Okay, let's finish with a little bit of breathing. Speaking of equal awareness, breathing in, expanding equally through both sides of the body, coming back to center. So everything is equal, equally alive, equally vibrant. Your awareness is present in all parts of the body equally. Then you become alert to when you forget about one part of your body. Okay, back to center. Okay, let's bow out. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Excellent. See you next time.
Thank you. Yeah, see you
Thank
soon.
you.